Hello, guys. How we doing this evening? This time I got it right. I'm doing great as well. Weekends are always the same nowadays, right? I start to get into a routine where I don't look at charts in the same way that when I trade, right? I still work. I still have a lot of stuff to do, so I still look at charts in some type of way, but I don't look at charts consistently in a way that I'm trying to expand. So when we come back here on our Sunday night, it's very good to get back to the charts. Gun show for us. That must be nice, honestly. That must be nice. Haven't had a lot of experience with that living here in Canada. I wanted to write that show and I ended up at a gun show. Fair enough. I don't find the similarity, but fair enough. Fair enough. We'll get right into it, right? I told you guys this before. In these conditions, I don't believe that my current success rate, I guess, with predicting price on a higher time frame for a longer period of time is accurate at all, right? And that might scare some of you, especially the ones that have been following my outlooks for some time now and have seen the established consistency I have. But I don't have any accurate I don't believe in my accuracy in these times. That's the truth. So what do I do? Well, same thing as always, right? I find myself repeating it, especially the past few weeks, but I'll just refer to intraday, recent price action, the previous day, the previous sessions, highs and lows. And I use statistics to help me figure out how I'm going to interact with those specifically. I also like to use news events, but as you guys might have seen, we have something a little different this week. So I'll be interacting with price and I'll be trading every single day except Friday. If we look at the news, I always refer to only USD news as I trade the indices futures. And I'm also referring to orange news, which in this case showcase medium impact news. So I'm also going to be referring to medium impact news in this case and trading every single day except Friday, which has nothing. Why am I doing that? Well, I want to take advantage of the current volatility. Right? Last week, I wanted to get my footing, is the best way to put it, right? See how these volatile markets are affecting price. And now I'm ready to get back into it with full speed. So I'm going to be trading a lot more, but keeping my risk low. As I've said, I am currently half risk. You can call it whatever you want. I like to just stick to the facts and call it half risk, which means that I'm always going to be risking 50% less than I usually do. 2 times inside day, I get the feeling gonna get some order pairing outside day, get a very big trending day next 8 days or so. Are you back in the game, Ollie? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I had a rough week last week where I made a mistake that just led to me losing out. Well, basically losing out on a great trade. And the day before, I closed out a very good trade early, which just made it a very simple trade. So, still a profitable week last week, but I could have made a lot more. And now I want to take advantage of these volatile markets and interact with price a lot more. So, very simple. We have a lot of volatility. So, as a day trader, I want to take advantage of that now that I'm a little more comfortable with the current market conditions. I'm going to do my outlook like I usually do, right? Using the same logic. So, referring, for example, to the range we're currently trading within, the fact that we inverse the first premium in efficiency and are currently respecting it. What does this tell me? Well, this tells me upside. This tells me we're going higher and this is our target. Right? This is my logic my logic. I mean, logic grasped from my understanding and other people's logic, right? I don't want to say this is logic brought to you by Rise and Ollie Trades, but this is the logic I've been using for a while now, for over a year, and it's always been very consistent to me. And if we look at the same thing on ES, we can get a little more insight since we understand that it is not the same first premium and efficiency, right? Because this inefficiency that we're comparing on NASDAQ, if I bring my crosshair here, is not in premium of the range on ES. And what does that tell us, right? What kind of insight does that bring to us? Well, it tells us that ES is bearish while NASDAQ is bullish. Our assets are uncorrelated. That is a tall tale sign that on the higher time frame, I won't be accurate. Why? Because my assets are uncorrelated. So either this one is going to turn bearish and follow this one, or this one is going to turn bullish and follow this one. So how do I choose it? Well, I don't. I just trade my intraday frameworks until one of them leads to a very large daily expansion. So we could see lower here as much as we could see higher. And truth is, my lower objectives, I'm going to look for more so of a retracement. So referring to this range and the first discount and efficiency being this order block. Let's bring it up right here. Same thing on NASDAQ. If we use the same range here and we look at our first discount and efficiency as the order block, this is my lower objective. If we are going to trade lower, I would like to see price being supported at this area. And of course, always bringing in my not premium and discount, my consequent encroachment here, my mid-level, which we call mid threshold, mean threshold, sorry. On this, I really want to make an indicator that always showcases the first discount and first premium and efficiency along with the liquidity associated with it. Kind of like a bias indicator. That'd be pretty cool, I think. Perhaps. I have a lot of stuff going on right now, but perhaps in the future we'll see that. But very straightforward stuff. I see bullishness on NASDAQ. I see bearishness on ES. So what does that tell me? Well, I need to wait until they both align. So until they both align, I won't be looking for some big trades that I'm going to hold throughout the day. That's the difference pretty much. When I'm very confident in my higher time frame bias, I'm not scared to look for trending days, enter early in the morning, and hold all the way to the PM session close. If I'm not confident in my higher time frame bias, for example, each asset is telling me a different story, very bullish, pretty bearish, well, in that case, I might look for early take profits. So in my morning trade, instead of, for example, only taking 50% off of my position at my partial and then a quarter, well, just 50% off total. So a quarter at my partial, a quarter at my target, and then leaving 50% as a runner, I might look to take 50% at my partial, a quarter of my original position at my target, and then leave only a 25% runner. The rice stats bunker is kind of bearish. Needs some work to make it nice, look like a dungeon. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I was thinking just as for these videos, right, and stuff for just for the rice trading, I was thinking of maybe getting a green screen here. Because I have a lot of stuff going on in the background. Actually preparing to move as well, so it's going to be a lot of different things going on. But this is a very straightforward outlook, right? We have our bearish levels, we have our bullish levels. If the people are watching this on YouTube, do go back a minute or two and re-listen to what I just said, because that is my plan for the whole week, how I'm going to be interacting with these volatile markets, trading almost every day. So definitely a lot of insight there for those of you guys who are feeling a little lost sometimes on the higher time frames. Well, it happens to me as well. And how do I use it? Well, that's how I interact with it. Basically, unless we are trending, the higher time frame can always have multiple directions. That's the truth, statistically speaking. So how do I filter through these opportunities? Well, it's very simple. Very simple. Intraday. So I'll always try and take trades that align with my expansion. I'll always wait for both assets to be aligned before I am confident in that direction. Do you guys have any questions? I mean, you guys are all regulars that are in here right now, so must be pretty straightforward. There's a huge CB breakaway gap between that space and a cute French-Canadian chick coming over. What are you saying, Perez? Wow. Opening range and regular trading hours is the same thing. What do you mean? M-Dog, so monthly opening gap? It's all OR? N-Dog, sorry. So N-Dog, N-Wog, it's all the opening range? I don't get what you're trying to say there. Honestly, don't. Give me a trading hours gap on race stats. Oh, okay. Right. It's all the same thing. What do you mean it's all the same thing? Three names, are they the same? Oh, okay. Well, NWOG is new week opening gap, NDOG is new day opening gap, and a regular trading hours gap is the regular trading hours gap. So the times are different. If you're on Rice Statistics, just go to each of them. And when you see the title at the top of your page, you can go to the little help icon and it will tell you the specific times and what they are. Fair enough. Ready for this week? Awesome. Awesome. Do I use them individually? So the data for the opening gaps, you might have seen a while ago, Nine posting a lot about it from DTT, right? And that's what I do. When I look, I basically created a bot that trades the week's opening on the indices futures, and that uses a lot of the new week opening gap data. And that's the only time really where I use the new week opening gap data intra-week, because after I've seen it once, I don't need to anymore. Truth is, you need to understand when it is highest probability to return to that opening gap, right? New day opening gap, to tell you the truth, I don't use it like at all. I like to see when it aligns sometimes. So when we do these reviews, I might tell you guys, oh, look, aligned beautifully with the new day opening gap. But I use the new week opening gap, and I've been studying up on the regular trading hours gap. And I always shoot for simplicity, but the engineer has showcased a lot of useful profiles and ways to utilize the regular trading hours gap that has really spiked my interest. So there might be some more data coming very soon about the regular trading hours gap on Rice Statistics. I'll say that, and I won't add anything else. Kind of like IB is important for regular traders, the initial balance. OR is a good gauge strength. I just want to be straight on the names. Yes, yes. So it's completely different. The opening range, and for example, some people use a 30-second opening range, 30-minute, the first hour, which people call the initial balance, all that stuff. Or is it the first 30 minutes? I mean, I'm completely lost on this stuff. All right. For me personally, I call the first hour the opening range. So from 9:30 to 10:30. If I'm talking about the first 30 minutes, I'll like to call it the initial balance. The opening range for me, if you're asking me that, there's also the 30-second opening range, which is something that cold brew uses quite a bit. So that is completely different as well. It has no relation to opening gaps at all for us. So the opening range is the first X amount of time after the opening bell, for example. And people have different names for the same shit. It is super confusing in the industry. But there will be some more ease coming into that for Rice Statistics. So hopefully I'll be able to get the names down right at that point in time. But I know I'm going to piss off some people just by using different names. And they're like, no, that's not true. The opening range is the first hour and a half. It's the first 47 minutes. I mean, you can't make everyone happy, right? So I use those names. Just makes it easier for me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Small update today for us. We just changed the time sliders to 5-minute precision because I've been getting a few people telling me, well, complaining that it's hard to slide those, especially on a small device. And I didn't want to change the time sliders because I believe they're a very clean look. So we changed them to 5-minute precision for time-based filtering, which anyways, you shouldn't be looking at anything minute-based. And if I get some people requesting for them to be put on minute-based, I'll just add an option to have more precise. Most of those pissed off people aren't making money. That is true. If you see someone taking the time to argue online, chances are they're either not making money or they're making too much money. And most of times, it's not around trading. Because making money in trading teaches you a lot of things. If you're making it gambling, then okay, you're not going to learn shit. But if you're actually making it for a while and learning consistency, it just changes you as a person. As you guys might have seen from me, like I'm super detached from my trading because it's all systematic. I see my model, I trade my model. And I still make mistakes and stuff, but you guys might have seen from last week, I don't care much about the mistakes I make because I don't make enough for it to cost me a lot of money. So I do want to fix them, I do want to change them, but I don't believe in perfection. So, it changes you as a person. And oftentimes, you just don't want to spend the time to argue with someone online, right? That's why I'm bringing in right statistics. Oh, this guy says this is better. This guy says this is better. Well, fuck you all. Where's your data? Let me show you which is better. And then no one can argue about it, you know? Yes, sir. It does change how you view the world. The less noise, the better. Love to hear that. Do we have any final questions around this outlook? If not, we're going to call it a day. As you guys know, I'm going to be trading the first 4 days of the week. So I'm not going to do a PA review on the days that are only medium impact news. So we're going to have a PA review on Wednesday and Thursday, I believe, with the current news setup. Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday. So we're going to have 2 PA reviews this week. If I see something interesting going on tomorrow or, well, basically Monday or Tuesday, I might do a surprise little call there. And don't worry, anytime I do these, it's going to be recorded if I end up doing something. All right. So definitely going to be looking at that, but I don't think there's going to be anything other than those 2 PA reviews for the week. Make sense? Wednesday, do you trade 9:30 or 13:40? 9:30. Yeah, 9:30. So we have, for those of you guys that are wondering, there is Powell speaking in the PM session. I've said this sometimes before, but I'll say it again. Whenever we have a member of the Fed or a Fed chair speaking or Trump speaking in the afternoon, I still trade the morning, but then I'm looking to be out of my position or break even by the time he speaks, and I can look for another trade after. I'm not going to repeat that for us. My pleasure. All right, well, on that note, I wish you all the best rest of your evening, night, or day, wherever you guys are from, right? And good luck trading this week. We'll see each other on Wednesday night for another review, and perhaps even a little bit before if we see something interesting happen early on in this week. You guys have a good one. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys.